And a good Wednesday, everybody. Another Phillies fastball coming at you after a seventh straight loss by the Phillies last night. Lifeless offense for much of the night. It was a good game until the Cubs actually scored, and then you felt like this game is over. Jeff Kerr, Oscar Budejen. Let's go, guys. Let's look at last night's game. A bunch of stuff I want to bring up here. But really, you look at the 7-4 final, and once the Cubs scored 1 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th, Jeff, it felt like, and then 3 in the 7th with the home runs. Your boy Meza came in and ended the game for the Phillies last night. But, again, another lifeless offensive night.
A lifeless offensive night and a pitching performance that I'm not very proud of. Jesus Luzardo, I'm sorry, he was garbage last night. He gave up 1 earned run. He was garbage. Couldn't find the strike zone. Hubbard can't get out of the 5th inning. I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting tired of the bulk of this team. This is supposed to be a strength of this team. It's not just Jesus Luzardo. It's all of them. They can't get through the 5th inning. This is a tax bullpen. This is a tire bullpen, a bullpen that doesn't have Johan Duran, a bullpen that doesn't have Jonathan Bowman. Tim Mays is playing an elevated role. We see how that's going right now. Tanner Banks all of a sudden can't throw a strike. Jose Alvarado, who knows if he's hurt now. Orion Kirkring should have been out of that 5th inning, but JT Realmuto all of a sudden forgets to challenge a pitch. It's a comedy of errors right now, guys. I haven't even gotten to the offense yet.
Oscar, fill in the blanks on that one. Last night, Luzardo 4 2/3, 5 hits, but 4 walks. Had no command last night.
He failed. He failed. As simple as that. I was expecting a huge performance by Luzardo. It was his opportunity to come back and erase all the bad starts. And, unfortunately, it did not happen. 5 hits, 4 base on balls. His command was not there. And he couldn't. 100 pitches in 4.2 innings. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. He's better than that, and he knows it. And it's everything, guys. It's just the scary part is everything. Yesterday, for the first time, Alec Bohm made 2 great defensive plays.
He did. Yeah.
You saw March making a tremendous play in center field. So the defense was much better, but it's just, JT not calling. Look, there's not a much more important point. Waste, that's where you waste.
Yeah.
If you need to waste a pitch, that's where you waste a challenge. That right there, that pitch was borderline. It could have been in the zone. He would have struck him out. That was the pitch. And I sent you guys a text immediately when it happened, and I said he needed to try challenge that pitch. And I don't know. It's like they're not in the game, and that's what I'm most worried about. I'm beginning, to be honest with you, until yesterday, bad start, all that. Now we're getting into a territory 8-15 where very few, only one in the history of the Phillies, one team since the 1900s, Scott Lover puts this out there, one Phillies team had a winning record after starting this bad.
Yeah, it's been bad. And obviously, guys, let's talk about a couple things. Before the game, Dave Dombrowski had to come out and address reporters because there has been talk about Rob Thompson. We talked about it yesterday right here on Phillies Fastball, and he said he's not thinking about it. He likes to look at 40-game sample sizes. Well, maybe Rob Thompson just bought himself about another 17 games or so, but he says he's not thinking about it. But the fact that he had to address it, does that say anything?
To me, I don't think they're going to get rid of him right now. And I've been saying that. He said that on the record. I've been told that. That's not an option. The 40-game thing is definitely interesting because I'm curious to see, okay, what changes would they make after 40 games? Like if they go 9-8 these next 17, is that enough to say, okay, we're turning it around? Do they have to go better than that? And I wanted to point this out here. So I was sent a tweet today by my friend of the show, Kyle Fisher, who does a really good job for PSN. Sure. He put this out today about their bad starts. 2022, 21, 29, and I know they fired the manager, but they won 59% of games the rest of the way. 2023, they had the same manager. 25-32, 619 win percentage the rest of the way. They got the hot starts the last 2 years and then were barely above 500 the rest of the way, but they did end up strong last year, you pointed out. their deepest runs when they were fighting uphill most of the season. And a lot of their problems were kind of like this. They weren't as bad, but not being able to hit, not being able to pitch, bullpen's been banged up, etc. To me, I'm not ready to give up yet because it's way too early for that. But it's like what you said last night, Oscar. There are a lot of, to me, disinterest, right? Like JT Realmuto just having a brain fart. That should not happen. Tanner Banks all of a sudden can't find the strike zone. Tim Mesa playing, again, I mentioned elevated role. Look at this offense last night. Look how desperate they were. They had to put Felix Reyes at cleanup. Alec Boehm is the worst hitter in Phillies franchise history after 23 games. That is hard to do, what he is doing. And it's getting worse.
Oscar, I want to get your opinion on Thompson, on what Dombrowski said. He said it's not something they're thinking about, but he did say, I look at 40 games. Did that stand out to you as well?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it stands out. Dombrowski needed to speak. It's a bad start. There is question marks out there, and he needed to address that. And he, as you said, is team minus 17. I mean, and I'm very concerned, guys. I'm very concerned. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I am very, very concerned. Again, last week we had 4 in a row. We lose the series versus Atlanta, but now it's 2 more games against the Cubs, and we're going to go face Atlanta over the weekend. And look, Zack Wheeler is the only hope this team has that you would say a positive sign. Now, yesterday there was a play. One of the best plays on defense that we've had this year was Harper. Harper made a play that was incredible. Going in the line like an outfielder behind his back. I mean, that was a hell of a play.
What about the throw home right after that?
Yeah, the throw home after that. Maybe he can play right field. Just kidding. That was a joke. You
know what's funny about that, Oscar? I'm glad you brought that up, though. Like, I think a lot of these teams' problems would be fixed if the front office would just let Bryce Harper go back to the outfield.
Well, look, guys, there's not an easy solution here.
I want to get into a couple things here. One, now Dombrowski said before the report, told reporters before the game, he is not pondering a managerial change that has been speculated nationally. Obviously, we talked about it yesterday. He says he's not pondering that, but he did mention that he takes stock in 40-game pockets. So let's keep that because you guys just mentioned
that's a quarter of the season. That's what he said. Yep. That's a quarter of the season.
Well, right. So when they did make a change in 2022, it was at 22 and 28. That was after 50 games. So that is when they did make a change in 2022, was after 50 games on June the 3rd. So it would seem that Thompson has at least bought himself another month and a change a little bit to try to turn this around, as Jeff, you indicated. I want to ask you guys about Felix Reyes. They put him in the 4-hole yesterday. What is the big picture here? Because is he going to play against right-handers? So you're telling me he's going to hit in the 4-hole against lefties, and then what are you going to do with, like, let's say he has 2 hits tonight and a double and 3 RBIs. Is he just not going to play on Thursday now? I find that to be a complete desperation move because I don't see what's the payoff here?
Yeah, you know what the payoff would be, Mike? If you would actually play Felix Reyes in right field instead of left field.
Well, and that's what I said.
Going up against righty, yeah.
So are you ready to dump Garcia already and just say this? I don't see that happening. So that's why I don't see either. I don't see what the payoff is here with hitting Reyes in the 4-hole. Just reeks of desperation. And even if he succeeds,
about messages, right?
What do you do with him?
Yeah, but we talk about messages, right? That's sending a message. That is telling. Yeah, that is, hey, nobody is safe here. We just brought this guy in, and we're benching him for some kid that literally no one knew who he was last year.
Look, I'm going to be a little blunt in my answer to this. I mean, he's just, that's his way of saying we're shaking things up. I mean, that's the bottom line. But to me, yesterday I saw a Harper that is trying to do some. He's playing hard. I mean, I have to admit it. Harper is playing very hard. Schwarber's trying. I mean, he strikes out more than I ideally want to. But Schwarber and Harper are trying to get this team going. The problem is the rest of the lineup. I mean, forget about Reyes for a second. I mean, Garcia, he was 1 for 4. Realmuto, 0 for 4. Trey Turner, guys, Let's start pointing at Trey Turner. Trey Turner needs to start playing like a star. I mean, he's hitting 234, 634 OPS, unacceptable, period. That's
this
it.
Is your lead. Yeah, I agree with you. By the way, that's your leadoff there. Maybe the change is you got to put Schwarber at leadoff and move Turner down because he's just not doing anything for you.
Or you put Crawford. You put Crawford as leadoff. Sit down Turner a game. I mean,
I would like them to play Crawford every day. I don't know why they're not doing that either.
Yeah, that's another thing. Marsh again last night. No Crawford. We know that Marsh struggles. Now, he did have 2 hits in the game last night. I think one came. Did one come against the lefty earlier in the game? I don't recall. But he did have 2 hits in the game last night. He had one late in the game against a right-hander. Guys, listen, I've been talking about Turner ever since he's gotten here. You know, the contract they gave him, way overpriced, too much money. He has not ever made an impact. I know he won a batting title last year, and somehow, I don't even know how, he finished 5th in the MVP voting. Does he feel like a guy who was the 5th best player in the league last year? No way. No way.
I'll say this to Trey Turner. Last year was his best year with the Phillies.
Yeah, of course. We had 2 years. One stunk and one was really good. I mean, I'm not saying he was bad last year, but he's not making the impact. And now his at-bat last night with 2 on in the last inning with a chance. You finally, like I thought that last inning, they finally kind of strung together a couple of hits. It felt like, okay, you know,
they
actually,
looked like they had some
hit. It was an error because Scott Kingery threw the ball into right field.
Maybe they were watching. Hold on. Maybe they were watching Maxey and BJ Edgecombe. I mean, bring it on.
But you know what, guys? This is what felt weird to me last night. Even though they lost, I actually walked away from that like, okay, this team's got a little bit of a fight, right? Because Harper had the 2-run home run. They scored. They had a but maybe this is why I want Kyle Schwarber back in Leo's spot because then he comes on with 2 men on in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're thinking, oh, then now we have a chance to tie this game.
Yeah, but to be
things.
fair, shouldn't you think like that when Trey Turner steps to the plate?
You should, but I don't think like that right now.
Exactly. And so you're not getting your bang for your buck from Turner. 234, unacceptable. You know, Schwarber, obviously, as you mentioned, he's striking out a lot, but he's Schwarber. He's hitting your home runs. He's striking out. He's doing what he does. Right. Sure. It is literally, though, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet earlier today. I
was laughing.
I was flying. Sorry, I was flying.
So my tweet earlier today is the Phillies lineup: Turner, Schwarber, Harper. Throw a dart, pick out of a hat, draw straws, rock, paper, scissors, close your eyes and point, and eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I mean, really, it's what it is. Oh, I want to point this out to people because I wrote this on my Substack yesterday, Mike, and I know you read it. For people that want Alec Bohm DFA'd, you do know how that works, right? He has to agree to be DFA'd.
Right. Well, the Bohm thing, I
right. Wouldn't DFA Alec Bohm. I mean, I sent him to the minors, and you know what?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, he has to agree to be sent to the minors. That's what it means. So, like, you just can't say, we're sending you down there. No, you have to basically, if you're Rob Thompson and Dave Dombrowski, you have to sit with him in an office and say, look, we recommend this. You have to agree to it.
Well, guys, there's a lot here. I mean, the Reyes thing, he'll probably, bat 4th again today. And then I don't know, maybe tomorrow he plays right field and they give Garcia a day off, so they extend him for 1 extra day. But I don't know what happens in the Braves series. Does he go to play right field? How do you get this guy in the lineup?
I like this kid. This kid is a hitter. I mean, this kid, I saw him up there. That guy is not an easy pitcher, and he was up there like hacking. I mean, the first line drive he hit, it was a good hit. I mean, I like this kid. Like this kid. This kid, you can see he's a natural hitter. We've been hearing Steve Porter always pointed to me. This kid can hit. This kid can hit, and he's a hitter. Now,
you know what I like about him, Oscar, and this has been like this for about the last year and a half. Felix Reyes is no fear when he's up at the plate. It's like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to overthink this. See the ball, hit the ball. It's almost like the Nick Castellanos thing, only he's smarter about it.
Well, I wrote an article about Reyes and this whole 4-hole situation that is over at 973ESPN.com, and I asked the question, where does he play against right-handers? And his splits against right-handers, 319, 349, 525 with 11 homers and 51 RBIs. Against lefties, 371, 406, 685 slash. So this guy shows in the minor leagues, I get it, that he can hit both righties and lefties. At Double-A last season, he had 335 with 15 homers. So the question is, is the Garcia experiment over? And if not, how do you get him in the lineup if you really think that he should be hitting in the middle of your lineup?
Yeah, I think Garcia is an important component. Sorry, Jeff. I think Garcia is a very important component to this team and the ability of this team of coming back. He's a legit hitter. He's proven it over many years. Very power hitter. When this guy gets hot, he's gonna hit 5 homers a week. I mean, that's how Garcia operates. So get ready for it. I'm not touching Garcia now. The idea of Reyes and maybe potentially put him in a third. I mean, he's originally an infielder. I mean, maybe it's a possibility. We
talked about this yesterday, and you said you'd rather see Kyle Schwarber play third base.
I changed my mind.
That's Fastball for desperate measures, right, Oscar?
Look, when you are at 8 and 15, you try everything, man. Whatever it takes.
This is how I look at this.
I think the point that we're talking about is his bat needs to be in the lineup, and we need to find a way for his bat to be in the lineup.
Yeah, I think he needs to play every day. I think this is a kid that he's just going to, like you said, Oscar, he's going to hit. You got to just find somewhere to put him, whether that's at Garcia's expense, whether that's at Alec Bohm's expense, whether that's at Harper's expense, but you move Harper. I don't know. I still say a lot of these problems would be fixed if the front office would agree to move Bryce Harper to the outfield. I just don't think they're going to do that.
Okay, let me ask you this question then. Let's say they did move him to the outfield. That means you're basically putting him back in right field, and Garcia goes right back to. So if you're going to put Harper in right field, why not just put Reyes in right field?
You platoon March and Garcia. You platoon March and Garcia. That's basically what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good platoon. I think Brandon Marsh is a great platoon with anybody, if we're being honest. Yeah. I think, look, am I disappointed in Brandon Marsh's start? Yes and no. I wish the OPS was higher, but he is hitting the ball. He's not the problem.
Well, listen, I mean, I think we all look at Marsh obviously as a platoon guy. The problem becomes a guy like Reyes.
Look at that. Kyle, there you go.
I got to show some love.
His ear was burning.
But the guy in the platoon that plays with Marsh doesn't get to play enough, and Reyes can't be the guy that doesn't play enough. That guy needs regular at-bats to see if he can hit at this level. You can't sit him for 4 and 5 days at a time. That becomes the issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, where do you play him?
Here's the question. Look at the questions. I mean,
I like this quote. When do you give up on Bryson Stott and Alec Bohm? I can tell you right now.
Yesterday.
Last year. Well, last year, I was told this, and Stott and Marsh were included in this. This is what I was told. There was an hourglass on both of them. Brandon Marsh played his way out of it, and so did Bryson Stott in the second half of the year. I wonder if that hourglass is back on Bryson Stott, whether this is just what he is.
Here's the problem, guys. I'll throw this to both you guys. Here's the problem. Look at Sosa at the bottom of that lineup there, down to 219. He's starting to play a lot, and now you're seeing that Sosa gets exposed too much.
And this is my argument. There is no one to compete and take any of their jobs at the highest level, and the one who can do it has not swung a bat yet.
I was going to say, Jeff, question for you. If Aiden Miller was healthy and he was hitting right now at AAA and performing, would he be up here playing?
If Aiden Miller was hitting like Felix Reyes hit in AAA, I think Aiden Miller would be on this team right now. I would not fully agree with it because I don't like to stun the prospect's development, but I think desperate times with a call for desperate measures, they say, you know what? You could take second base, you could take third base. We'll play you every day. And I think he'd bring some youth and excitement to this team like Crawford did.
Wow.
Look at that. I mean, this is going to become tough. Look, if you keep losing, this is what you're going to hear. Simple as that.
Guys, we're on the radio every day, people listening to this conversation. I tell you, the text messages during the segment and after the segment, people are done with Thompson and Dombrowski. Now, if you had to pick one or the other, I think most people would say Dombrowski putting this roster together has really limited Thompson's ability. But last night, what Dombrowski said, there's been a lot of conversation about the lineups and everything. And Dombrowski said that he's disappointed with this. I wouldn't be surprised if the front office and Thompson got together and said, we got to send a message. We're hitting Reyes fourth to show these guys how disappointed we are.
Yeah, and you know what? Dave Dombrowski should be disappointed because this was a team that won 95 games 2 years ago and 96 last year. And look, anybody who knows anything about baseball would have told you this team's going to win 90 games. You know, you gotta get rid of the negative people in your life.
Now, here's the other. I mean, I'm building on this. I mean, we're talking about hitting. I mean, how about this? Starting pitching needs to step up. I mean, look, 499. We're 28th in baseball. 28 are starting
unacceptable.
pitching.
Well, you started the show yesterday, Jeff. You went on a nice rant about Luzardo, and then last night he did not impress, with 4 walks and basically put this team in bullpen in peril yet again. And then today you're going to get Kyle Backus getting the start as the opener for Taijuan Walker. And then you're going into the Braves series. You're hoping that Zack Wheeler comes back to Zack Wheeler. So you're putting a lot of pressure on Wheeler to come up in his first game and try to bail us out here.
This is what I'm so disappointed with the starting pitching. It's not even just Jesus Luzardo. I know he's the new guy making all the money right now, but outside of Christopher Sanchez, there's no one you can trust right now. Even Andrew Painter to an extent.
Well, yeah, Painter's problem is pitch count. Can't get out of the 5th inning so far. Hasn't been able to display that.
Aaron Nola can't get out of the 5th inning.
It appears that Nola is – I mean, I don't think he looks as bad as last year, but he's nowhere near the Nola that got that 7-year deal.
And the other thing is relief pitching. I mean, they're falling apart. I mean, it's like a car with 2 wheels trying to move forward, and you can't. I mean, that's a reality of it. I mean, you got what? You got Pop hurt. Bolin hurt. Now Alvarado is getting hurt as well. Yeah. I mean, you got Yohan Duran. So half of your bullpen is gone. Half of your bullpen is gone.
Yeah, exactly. This is a deep bullpen, and they're deep in AAA. But let's face reality here. Any team's going to struggle when you miss 4 bullpen guys, especially 2 who you rely on a lot.
Look, we got the family here. Corey joins the team here. Braves appeared. They shuffled the rotation a bit. I bet they're going with lefties.
No,
Martin
they
Perez
did.
is pitching tomorrow, I think, right?
They're going to throw Grant Holmes. They're going to go with Grant Holmes on Friday, Elder on Saturday, and Sale on Sunday. They flipped that around a little because originally Sale was supposed to pitch Friday against Painter. Holmes was on Saturday and Elder on Sunday, but they have flipped those guys around a little bit.
Yeah. 2 of their guys who are doing trial runs on the outfield in Camp and Reyes could – slide into the second and third more comfortable.
I agree with Kyle there. Like, you sent Otto Kemp down, and he plays every day in left field now, but Otto Kemp came up as a third baseman. Why not just bring him back?
Yeah, not a great third baseman, but still, you have Bohm struggling so mightily. You're looking for at-bats for Kemp. You send Bohm a message and say, look, you're not producing right now. We need to get Otto Kemp some at-bats. It's at your expense now. And they're just not ready for whatever reason. They're holding out hope that Bohm, who did last year, turn it around after a slow April, and he had a good May, June. I mean, he had a good year after his slow start.
This is my issue with Bohm. I do like how they have faith in Bohm, but this is my kind of thing with him. Is he really going to be on this team next year? He's like Garcia. You owe him nothing anymore.
Not only that, Jeff, even if he has a good year and a big year, do you think the Phillies want to sign him back long-term for big money?
Not.
No way.
He's gone.
I don't think the Phillies want to bring him back. I think if the Phillies wanted to, if they could have found anybody to take this guy, I think they would have done it.
Agree.
Look, maybe I'm going to throw your name out there. Paredes with the Astros. He's not starting. Paredes with the Astros, I mean, he's a good hitter. That might be the swap you would need. I mean, even though I don't think the Astros would want Alec Bohm, but I mean, who would want Alec Bohm?
They're struggling too, by the way.
I mean, what was that?
You know what? Someone brought this up to me the other day. I was in a conversation with a bunch of guys, and we were just talking about the Phillies, and said, "What is Alec Bohm like?" Not even as a free agent. Like, do you really think anybody would sign him just to be the everyday third baseman after this year for any club?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well, and again, him and Stott are 2 guys right now. People text in all the time. You got to trade Bohm. You got to trade Stott. I said they have no value. They're not even league guys players.
Look where we are with lefties. 2-9. Against lefties.
You know what bothers me about Stott more than Bohm?
And a lefty tonight, by the way. Boyd, lefty tonight.
You know what bothers me about Stockmore Bohm? I've seen Bohm have success in the major leagues. I've seen minimal.
He started the All-Star game.
Exactly. Do you think Bryson Stott just looked overmatched from the time he got up here?
Yeah. It's a shame because he looked like he was going to be a grinder, a good player, a guy that was kind of a dirtball, and that was he just hasn't worked out.
He does work hard. I like him personally. I think he's a good guy. But can't hit.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, guys. By the way, Braves lost last night, so you didn't lose any ground, which is good.
By the way, Mike, sorry to interrupt you. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. The number continues to run.
Well, and you lost
4.
the game last night, giving up 7 runs. And how many guys did the Cubs leave on base? 14? 17 left on base last night. So you wiggled your way out of jam after jam after jam.
10 bases on balls we allowed you. I mean, the pitching staff was dreadful.
It was everybody. It was a comedy.
By the way, Matthew Boyd, a lefty, a 6.75 ERA tonight. He should lower that against this lineup. Kyle Backus on the mound. He'll be the opener for the Phillies. And we will see Taijuan Walker enter this game at some point. Good conversation, everybody. Oscar and Jeff will do the Phillies fastball segment tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much.
Have a wonderful evening, guys. Take care.